life's changed. Everything changes. Nothing stays the same.
We've been in the mainstream. We've had great commercial success, but we've also had a consistent evolution in our music, which I think keeps the cult current and relevant as a band. And we are talking about our 10th. Now, this conversation is about our 10th studio album. Many bands who have been around as long as the cult cannot talk about 10th studio albums.
The first album we made in 1984 was done because we didn't actually have. We wanted to play more concerts in Europe, and nobody would promote us unless we had an album. Because in that era, in the context of the 80s, they said, we're not going to make you, you can't play in Germany, you can't play in Holland because you don't have an album. We only had released singles or EPs. So it was a very different world. So that was kind of made out of necessity. For us, we feel we just want to do stuff when something we can believe in. And sometimes it takes time to gather the influences and the riffs and we write all the time, but getting enough of it together. Each album has had its own little mini story, you know, which will probably be better served in a book, not in an interview. But each one is just a process, and I think that's what keeps us coming back. You know, I mean, I personally enjoy playing live. That's my primary motivation as a musician from when I was a kid. Making albums is something that I do. I don't particularly enjoy it personally. I do it, and it has moments of enjoyment, but I like gigs. I like touring. I like being on stage with a guitar, trying to be Pete Townsend or something. That's my schoolboy fantasy. So I get to live that. On the other hand, over here, my partner, who can take over about the other side because he loves making albums.
Yeah, I love the process. I love the process of turning up every day. You don't know what's going to happen. At the end of the day, you hear something come out the speakers, you go like, what? The process is the same since we started, but in the beginning we used cassettes.
That's the biggest difference. We record ideas on an iPhone now. It used to be on a cassette.
I actually still have a cassette recorder. Something about having in your hand tape, recording it, stopping it, playing it back, listening to it. When you're doing this, I think it gives you an opportunity to have more time to think about what you've just done. This is the idea behind the trilogy. The trilogy conversation really started towards the end of this record, and our manager's observation was, in some ways, this is a trilogy of records that started with us regrouping in 2006. It's almost like a rebirth for the band in many ways. Our first record we made like in the very beginning of the band. We made it very quickly, very instinctually. We wanted to make something very quick, an impression of where we were at. We made that record in, I think it was something like 36 days. Second album, we took a bit more time. It's kind of condensed over a period. We worked with 2 producers, transitional. And then the third record is an evolution of the rebirth.
Best thing about making new music is that you have a blank canvas. It's a great challenge to have nothing and make something and then see people's reaction, particularly when it's good. And that's why we're very, with the cult, you know, we don't ignore the 80s. It's nostalgia, what I call a lowercase n. You know, we were there at the time, we wrote some good songs, we enjoyed it. We're not saying it's terrible, but we're also about really much more about today and also looking forwards. And I think the best artists do that. I think the artists who are always looking backwards, I don't think that's a healthy place to be. I just don't think it's a healthy mentality as a human being. So for us, we're always looking forwards. We play old songs, we played 8 old songs, we're happy to. You know, happy to play them. It's not like, oh gosh, we got to it was so cool. But you know, it's great, the challenge to make new music that's important to us today and still relevant, and be able to play them together. That's really what was beautiful about last night.
I came to you with love in my heart.
Hi, I'm Billy.
I'm Ian, we're from The Cult, and you're watching WARPTv.